Today in Robert's Guitar Dungeon, we're checking out the Dellinger 2 Pro from Caparison. Okay, I normally don't do this, and by this I mean demo guitars that have been modified. I actually borrowed this from a friend, and I went to go do some research on it because I want to know the specs on it. And you know, there was I found out this is a Dellinger 2 Pro, based on the case candy that's inside the case that came with it, and I couldn't find a single Dellinger model anywhere that came with EMGs in it. So I looked a little bit deeper, and I even popped off that back cavity and found out that it looks like that the EMGs were actually added after. And it's a good thing, because with the EMGs in it, I think this guitar sounds very, very meh. You know, it sounds like, I mean, I played $600 LTDs that sound as good or better as this guitar. So, being that this guitar had, the pickups anyway, had been modified, I'm going to leave the tone out of what I'm going to say, because it's honestly, it's a shame. I really would have liked to have played it with the passive pickups that came in it. I know Caparison makes their own, they make their own passive pickups, and everything about their guitars is supposed to be top notch. So I'm disappointed that the first experience that I had with it didn't have those. Regardless, that said, some of the specs on this thing, this is supposed to be a the specs that I found online for this guitar listed the body as maple, mahogany, maple, which makes me think that it's got a mahogany center block and two maple wings down the side. You can see it is a bolt-on neck, bolt-on maple neck, that is. Let's see, Godo tuners, that is actually a Schaller licensed Floyd Rose, Schaller brand licensed Floyd Rose tremolo. Of course, it's got the abalone inlays on it, and the bound neck all the way around the fretboard, including the headstock, which is kind of a nice touch. It's kind of a matte finish, but it's a durable matte finish and doesn't pick up fingerprints. So I mean, it's got some kind of polymer coating or something on the outside of it that it almost makes the finish itself feel like plastic. To be honest with you, it's not plastic, but you know, it's wood. But the finish itself is very, very durable, which I think is a good thing. The back of this thing does say designed by Caparison Guitars in Japan, made in Japan. So this is a high quality Japanese made instrument. The neck on it was a little, I've gotten used to playing my Schecter Blackjack SLS that I use in so many of my videos, and that one actually has a really, really slim, really fast neck. That one combined with some of my BC Rich guitars. This one, it's not a fat neck, but it's a little bit wider than that. I would probably liken this neck closer to what most Schecter necks would feel like. You know, the Schecter without the SLS neck on it, you know, a Hellraiser or something like that is probably the first thing that came to mind. Again, I'm kind of going back to the electronics that may or may not have anything to do with the quality of the factory build, but the knobs are very tight feeling and don't feel loose like they're about to pop off or anything. It seems to stay in tune pretty well. Fretwork on it is very good. Very, very good. There is no sharp frets, nothing uncomfortable on this thing at all. Fretboard feels fantastic. Overall, this is a discontinued model now, but when this came out, it was, I believe, about a $2,000 to $2,500 guitar, somewhere in that range. It's a very, very, very high quality instrument. I'll be honest, not knowing what it sounded like out of the factory without the original pickup. Tone-wise, with the EMGs in this guitar, I played that 3 Days Grace riff, and to me, it sounded awfully close to what was on that actual recording. I love the song, nothing against the tone on that record, but this thing got really, really close to that. You know, what I'm alluding to is, in its current state, the build quality's there, the playability's there, the tone, honestly, in my opinion, kind of sucks. Again, that is no fault of Caparison's, no fault of EMGs. Honestly, I think it's the fault of whoever had this thing that put EMGs in it. regardless, the tone is what it is, but you know, everything else about it is a very high quality instrument. You know, I think my biggest gripe with this guitar is that the Ibanez Prestige series, made in Japan Prestige series, start about $1,300–1,500, somewhere in there, and that's about $800 less than this guitar roughly. And honestly, I think those guitars are just as nice as this one. Why this is in the $2,000 range, at least it was when it was new, I don't know. This thing's going to sell used for about 12 to 18, and like I said, you can buy a used Ibanez Prestige in the $1,000 to $1,500 range that is every bit as nice, built every bit as well. This, I think, and part of the, just because judging by the way the serial number stamped in the back, I think this is actually built in the same factory as the ESPs. For what it's worth. Great guitar, nothing negative to say about it. A little on the pricey side for my taste. Hopefully I'll get to try one of these days that hasn't been modified. And when that happens, I will be more than happy to share it with you guys. Please leave me your comments down below. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Any and all applicable links down in the description below. Any comparison players out there, please let me know if the specimen that I am trying these out on for the first time is a good one to go off of, or if I'm starting off on the wrong foot. Honestly, I have no idea. The reason why I demoed this guitar is because these are getting really popular, particularly among hard rock and heavy metal circles especially. And I wanted to see what they were about, and I had an opportunity to try this one. So. Regardless of what kind of guitar you play, whether you play guitar, or you play bass, or you play drums, or you play keyboard, or you play the kazoo, if you got any unwanted or broken instruments laying around, please contact my friends at Share the Music on their Facebook page and learn how you and your broken or unwanted instruments can help change a young person's life.